we honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
And now they take on the Slovaks. And Slovakia riding high after that notable victory on yesterday, where they feel like they have some momentum going forward. They won it 17-5, while Poland only got one 6-on-6 goal. It came in the final seconds. They lost it 10-3 to Ireland. So, Daniel, different mix of emotions. Poland trying to recover, just as Slovakia yesterday really jumped on Sweden, and they hope they can soar the rest of the way.
And I think when you deal with these teams and they're falling that 9-6 team bracket, everyone's trying to make sure that they secure a spot in that Division II championship, I guess we're referring to it as. Regardless, you don't want to slip down in the rankings or really burn out on the backside of it. For Poland, it wasn't that they played poorly against Ireland. I think what you saw there was, just the sheer depth of the Irish team, and then the combination for the Polish team, a lot of little small errors. Now, early on, I had the opportunity to watch the game versus the Czech Republic, and I saw box errors, at least 2-3 mistakes out of the box that cost them possessions. Here versus Slovakia, there's going to be a little bit of a feeling out, but many of these players know one another. With two bordering countries, boys that play box together, many of them take part of that Czech box league, so there's familiarity here, but certainly not contempt. I think that we're going to see a nice, solid game today.
Slovakia in the blue on blue, led by captain and their face-off man Stanislav Pergot. He'll face off against Poland's Greg Marzec from Detroit, Michigan. So the Poles, to try to get themselves in position, these two teams can finish as high as 9th out of this particular bracket. Poland in goal will have Christian Zvalewski, and in goal for the Slovaks, 18-year-old A.J. Babiny from Toronto, Ontario. Babiny in net, and he's playing with his two cousins, and a great subplot to this game. In some ways, it's a reunion of sorts. Defensive coordinator of Poland, Tom McCabe, he was on the staff of Slovakia 5 years ago in the European qualifiers under head coach Jan Flaska, still of the Slovaks, and McCabe was his college coach also at Bowdoin College in Maine. So the two exchanging pleasantries, and we are ready to go. And certainly I think Jan Flaska will not be surprised by anything he sees. As Poland wins the opening faceoff, Tyler Borko with Jan Mikołaj Śmigel and Lukas Hutzal starting the attack. Sean Brennan will get an offensive run here, along with Błażej Pruszek and Sebastian Życzicki. In a man-to-man look defensively for Slovakia.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how they open up this set. You can see they're running somewhat open on here, but I felt during the Ireland game, Poland did not great spacing. We'll see how well they handle it today, and if they get the appropriate ball movement to really get easier goals and not be taking shots from the outside.
With A.J. Babiny in goal defensively, Martin Kramar, Jackson Harcha, long pole midi, Callan Murphy.
See Lucas Huckel pull it back around. I've noticed that he's been sort of the stalwart within the Polish team in terms of maintaining possession, really anchors down that left-hand side, having completed his time over at Lafayette. See Sebastian sweeping now over to the right and reversing.
Życzicki falls down, and this field took a punishment yesterday with a lot of rain. It's dried off, thankfully, here for
See a fast break on here.
Christian Babiny deals outside, looking for Samuel Postma, and that's out of his reach.
I think he had an opportunity there. I think you saw the wing on the left-hand side, just a little long on the pass, but either did not go out of bounds or was treated as a tip.
Fourth defenseman, by the way, Branislav Adam. And Slovakia to work defensively. Christian Zvalewski getting the start in goal. In front of him, Adam Tomorek, Marcin Trach, Matthew Till at close D, long pole midi, Bart Kanarek. Here for the Slovaks, off of a big game yesterday, Stefan Flaska behind, number 99, had 2 goals.
I'm noticing now, looking at the Polish team, I'm wondering whether or not there were offensive minis that even changed out. It seems that they have, at least one of the offensive minis for Poland is on the field, so I don't think Slovakia even gave them a chance to change out lines or running two-way middies today.
This is Jake Nanaski having the defender held up, so it was Slovakia in transition. Feet up top as they're able to make the connection with Mark Lichtner, just 17 years old. And upon the ground ball for Poland, still loose, Sean Brennan lost in. Mark Lichtner recovers. The attack typically, Eric Lichtner, joined by Samuel Postma and Ivan Chernak. And the first midfield, Christian Babiny, Stefan Flaska, and Griffin Schutz. Schutz with 4 goals in yesterday's 17-5 win over Sweden.
A little bit of reverse from what we saw during the Ireland game. see Poland playing man here, probably to come out against all the cutters that are coming through from Slovakia. Slovakia looks like a 1-4-1, sending as many as 2 to 3 people through the crease while running from X and also attempting to feed the top. A shotgun wide there with Slovakia maintaining possession.
Postma the pickup, and Slovakia hoping to continue the momentum from yesterday. They got off to a great start against Sweden, never relented. Nanaski across, he was looking for the attackman Simone Tomei, lefty playing in just his 3rd game, and it was just in and out of his stick. And Christian Zvalewski will lobble the top and throws a dime out to Sean Brennan. Poland will look for the clear. Poland yesterday, their first 2 goals out of the 3 were in transition. They struggled 6-on-6. Talking to head coach Bill McNamara, head coach over at York High School in southern Maine. Just too many turnovers. They were sped up, and they're hoping to make better connections today. And Ireland's defense has been tremendous. They've yielded just 5 goals, 8 goals through 5 games. They will take on Germany tonight at 7 in a quarterfinal. And Poland's held to just 1 goal in the 6-on-6. Jan Rydzak. And Rydzak frees himself from Stefan Flaska. The feed to the front and a finish. Jan Mikołaj Śmigol from Tyler Borko, 1-0.
I think early on we're seeing a little bit of a box-style play from both teams here. On the dodges, a little bit of a bull dodge, and then immediately looking to the crease, you're seeing in-close shots from both teams. It certainly bodes for a nice, solid lacrosse game. We're not just seeing people wing it from the outside. Want to get solid ball movements on both sides for both teams.
Śmigol able to step up from his quarterback spot at X. Mažec to face off against Stanislav Pergot. Comfortable conditions, a little bit of a wind. This field got a lot of work on it this morning to prepare it around the crease. Fortunately, there's no big spots, and fortunately, the major puddles around the face-off X, they have dried up, and Greg Mažec is able to come up with a clean face-off win off to Matthew Till. As Till is ridden up the sideline by Pergot. Till scored his first goal of the tournament, the opening goal yesterday, first half against Ireland, as he drops it off. And Poland will sup through the box to bring out a new midfield. Both teams going through the typical bumps and bruises. And Poland, now that they've been eliminated from top 8 quarterfinals play, will have a chance to run through maybe some extra guys to rest some legs. And that is the attrition and the survival of the fittest also in these tournaments. And you can look across the landscape out of all 24 teams participating in this tournament. Basically everybody has some serious injuries and players that they're trying to hold out.
I think a team like England, you've noticed, has been the beneficiary of that depth. You look at Ireland and England, they're able to not have to overwork their best offensive players. As you work yourself down the line, that's much more challenging. Nice drive by Brennan there, righty rip over the pole. Poland maintains possession. Tyler Boko wisely staying back.
Śmigol outside for Hutzal, and Poland hoping to get and find some help from Matthew Dyszkiewicz, talented midfielder. Hutzal the turn, and Babiny will make his first save. And the ground ball picked up by Martin Kramar. He'll turn, and Slovakia will look for the clear. And off for Babiny.
Such an important aspect. Again, ball in the clear. I think the underrated aspect during so many of these tournaments is exactly what just took place. The ability to ride and the ability to clear, which dominates time of possession in these running clock tournaments. Early on, I've seen when teams have a slight mismatch, possibly in talent, it becomes imperative that they make sure that they are actually dominating possession time and not giving up fast breaks. Poland does a great job there of riding, creating the turnover, and putting themselves back on the offense. Blaze Pruszek right now taking a righty dodge down the lane, and gets stripped by number 7 of Slovakia.
And the ground ball picked up by the Slovaks, and they'll look to play it forward. Griffin Schutz switching back to the cleats today. Wore regular sneakers playing on the turf in that game against Sweden. Played very well. Postma improving his angle. Postma shot on the bouncer into the dirt. And Nanaski having backup. Two teams will be in action tomorrow, win or lose. Championship game on Saturday night. Today is the day of quarterfinals. Israel and England have already clinched spots in the World Championship in Japan in 2027 by virtue of their wins. The teams they defeated can still get the 7th spot. Shot from outside, Schutz.
Just shows how quickly he can get that ball into the shooting position and lets it go. Poland has to be mindful, stretching it out as they sing the dodges, making sure that they close out there. I think a very patient set here from Slovakia.
Pasma, this time will work against the pole. Schutz hitching right against Till. Feed for Lichtner, and Lichtner just missed. Mark Lichtner, 17 years old. They were the interviews after yesterday's Sweden game. Eric Lichtner, older brother, is 19. Dad Tomas is on the team. He is an unannounced age, but he is also on the roster, and what a time they are having.
Curious to see how the ref handles it. It's very clear on the box side as I'm watching. I could see the interference call coming from here. I saw the jostling on the center. The box players, I think, are a little bit used to being able to go down into that crease and start shoving people. Did an earlier call today where I saw the refs give the warning first and then make it very clear. You're simply not allowed to dislodge a player off ball. So Poland here will now go on the man up. Little personal changes. I actually see. So Poland pick up the penalty. 1-1. So we're going to go 5-on-5 here.
Unsportsmanlike against Poland on the last one. 5-on-5. And approaching wide open, Eric Lichtner took the extra crow hop with the defender backing off on the 5-on-5. Eric Lichtner converts, and Slovakia ties the game at 1.
Wise play there. Recognized the defender had given him way too much room that close to the goal and just quickly puts it in against Christian. Polish goalkeeper, I think, expected the defender to close him out there. So we'll see Poland now go back on the face. We got a tied game, 1-1 with about 5 minutes left in the first.
Pergot this time we'll see for Poland. Looks to be Chris Sloma that will take this face-off. Poland having 3 different face-off guys. Sloma missed a game, but a very good short stick D-midi that also just graduated high school. Legendary coach Jack Moran of Chaminad's last team, 45 years, 629 career wins. Well coached as Sloma drops it off the procedure call. Tied at 1. Winner of this game will take on the winner of Wales and Greece, will be playing later today. So the winner will play tomorrow. The loser will take on the loser between Wales and Greece too. Tyler Borko dropped it off Spiegel, and a little push shot. Flag is out, however, and Poland is going to go man up.
I think Spiegel was a little bit surprised there. He got jammed up. You could see his hands. He was on the cross side there, and then I think it was a slash on there.
Yep, it is a slash. 1 minute against Slovakia. And heading over to the box, Jackson Harcha. He's had a very good tournament. Left-handed defenseman who played at 2 different schools at the collegiate level in the U.S. So Sebastian Rachitsky
Pulling up for a nice wide open set here with 1 man on the crease. Seen a lot of 3-3 stack thus far during the tournament. It's a variation. They're going into the set now with a rotation. See with this man up, you're opting in these scenarios, always trying to just find the open man, not necessarily dodge as much as move the defenders.
Rachitsky stepped into it, then turned down the shot.
Excellent closeout defense by Slovakia there. Quickly getting the pulls, forcing an outer pass, not one that's dangerous.
Now room and time for Borko to rip. That's going to feel really good for Tyler Borko. Stepped into about a 9-yard shot, and he's been managing injuries through this tournament and continuing to play. It's 2-1. Poland converts on the man up.
Tyler was a reserve on the Poland's 2023 World Championship team, so he's been committed out to the program. Many of the players that are now here have played for the U19 team, whether it be 4 years ago and last year. So Poland's been able to develop them along the way, creating some familiarity amongst those younger players.
Tyler Borko with Polish grandparents. Timeout will be taken by Slovakia. So the man-up goal for Poland before this face-off late in the opening quarter. 2 minutes, 41 seconds left here in the first. Joining you from Wrocław, Poland. And Poland, the 12 seed, with the lead over Slovakia, the 13 seed. Trying to advance to Thursday and try to climb this consolation bracket out of the original championship tournament bracket. The highest either one of these 2 teams can finish is 9th. So that's what they're playing for, to try to make a dash to Friday and really achieve something. And Daniel, these are situations where players expend so much emotional energy and physical energy to hope to give themselves a chance to play into the top 7, into the quarterfinal bracket. Once that's lost, just talking to Billy McNamara, you're trying to get that back and remotivate the team. There's still plenty of lacrosse left to be played, despite their exhaustion.
I think it is, we have the tendency to forget that athletes are ultimately human. And the disappointment kicks in, and it's very quickly to have the wheels come off the bus, so to speak, that you don't get a full effort or people don't believe something necessarily matters when they miss the big over aspirational goal. And I think having these littler goals, it's a trite expression sometimes to say one game at a time, but it is so true. I saw this happen last year with the U19 team when it became apparent that they would not be able to play in that Final Four or medal round. It was an exception, I think, due to ages for their qualification. They didn't play with the same fire when they didn't think they were on there, and you can't take the foot off the gas.
Pergot continues to draw. Marzec wins another one from him. So Poland has established the face-off advantage significantly as Marzec draws a slash, and he'll head off, and off for Schmiegel, and Poland moving the ball quickly.
A little confusion on a whistle that maybe was coming from the other field there. See, Blažej Prušek looked back at the referee. I think they were a little bit confused as whether or not the whistle was blown.
I was too. On the neighboring field, Ukraine and Croatia are still battling, while another game is getting ready on field 1. It's constant here as we are currently playing game number 63 of this European Championship out of 90. Still a long way to go. Schmiegel around Callan Murphy. All even out to Zachitsky. The drop off, Hutzal. That's usually his spot, and Lucas Hutzal trying to go low to high. Poland having backup.
I got the opportunity to watch the Norway game a little bit earlier today, and I thought that what Norway did exceptionally well was exactly that sweep over the top and either hit the guy on the far side that comes from the adjacent side or reverse the ball very quickly.
Hutzal away from pressure of Harcha. And then Zachitsky trying to fake a pass, dropped it. And now the ground ball picked up by Eric Lichtner. And Lichtner tackled by Zachitsky, and a flag coming out. So Zachitsky is going to go in the box, and we'll have a man up for Slovakia. Let's wait for the official's call. Is this a 30 push with possession? Well, it'll be the trip called against Sebastian Zachitsky. So a 1-minute man up for the Slovaks.
Slovakia showed the ability to really find their players on there, even on the 5-on-5 earlier. I liked their spacing on this, and they've proven they have some guns from the outside so that Poland can't sleep on the inside looking for a feed. A couple different whistles come from all different directions. I think we're finally live now.
And some have suggested different kinds of whistles, ones that sound a little bit different, one field to the next, but that might actually cause more confusion for these kinds of tournaments. Nanaski will start at the top. Stefan Flaska.
You can see the rotation coming through and attempting on the crease. Excellent feed there from Slovakia.
Postma able to connect with Griffin Schutz. And a textbook man up for Slovakia ties the game at 2.
Not sure if I'm positive. Now, both of those goals would be with a man down, correct? I don't think they were a man up per se, but I think it was on the penalty that shot. So I think it was 5-on-5 play with the other Slovakian goal. But again, we're seeing that when they're on offense, they are potent and they are capable of making sure that they find inside men.
Schutz off of a 4-goal performance yesterday, enjoying his time, native of Trumbull, Connecticut, and connecting with all of these players. I got the great sense from him. He can't wait till the next tournament to play with his Slovak teammates. Off the wing is still a 3-on-2 non-releasable. Face-off win by Babini, Christian Babini, who faced off a little bit against Italy and had moderate success against Angelo Venuto, who has been dominating. But he was the one guy that turned over Venuto as the Slovaks tried 5 different guys against Italy. Swung to Nanaski. Christian Babini down low, open shooter. Tomei misses the look.
Same place he scored from before. I like how he quickly went low on that shot. believe that's the quarter now for us.
Yep, that's the end of the first period. Slovakia able to tie the game at 2. Each team with a man-up goal to close out the first 2-2. 12-seeded Poland, 13-seed Slovakia playing in Wrocław, Poland. You're watching the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championship from World Lacrosse TV and Lax TV. Second quarter tied at 2 from Wrocław. Poland and Slovakia try to advance to tomorrow. They'll take on the winner between Wales and Greece. Loser will take on the loser of that game. Greg Marzec is knocked down, so he is getting the advantage here facing off against whoever Slovakia is throwing at him. Chris Sloma had a brief path to goal before he will pull it out for Lukas Hutzal. Poland getting goals from Jan Mikołaj Schmigel on a feed from Borko. Eric Lichter tied the game just seconds after a man-up ended for the Slovaks. Then Borko on man-up, about a 9-yard rip from straight on. Then Griffin Schutz from Samuel Postma. Man-up goal for Slovakia. This is the 12-seed Poland, 13-seeded Slovakia. So just based on that, you expect a very competitive game. And I think we have the feeling that this one is going to go down to the wire. Sean Brennan. And Brennan trying to turn the corner. Brennan to continue. Brennan has the goal.
Heck of a goal there, and I think it's made possible by the people who were previously in the pick position slipping there, forcing the defender to almost kind of half slide on there, freeing up the lane for him. Shows great field awareness on both sides. Certainly we've seen that you cannot allow the pick or the backside man to stay open. Both teams have shown the ability to find him and feed that ball in.
The Brandons, dad an American, mom Polish. They were married in Poland, in Northeast Poland. And for Sean, playing at Greensboro Day School in North Carolina, not the highest level of high school lacrosse. So he both faced off and also scored 133 goals over a 4-year varsity career. And a naval commitment as Sloma wins the face-off, thrown at him right from Marzec. Sloma, path to cage. Had Hutzal, and Hutzal just dropped it. Borko briefly rescued it. Murphy overran it, and the pickup here from Hutzal. And finally, Poland.
Nice settled play here. Let's see whether or not Borko picks up Hutzal. Interesting play there by the goalie, opting to come out. I do believe we have a penalty, probably a slash there. A couple differences, I think, when we watch these games, it becomes very apparent that the refs, when they call it, they will blow the play dead very quickly. If they're not going to let a play-on scenario go very long. I think that this is the goalie that's going to be called.
It's a 1-minute slash on A.J. Babini. So backup goalie Marian Templeton Jadron will come in. He is a local in Slovakia, so he is summoned. He He played yesterday in the second half against Sweden in a comfortable game, but never the easiest thing, as he is from the United Kingdom, but a native of Slovak. He's got 2 kids, a 9-year-old and a 4-year-old. He goes back to playing Intercross World Championships to 04. He's the backup to the youngster AJ Babiny.
I made this comment earlier during the Norway-Denmark game. When you're backup goalie coming in like that, you almost want a shot to hit you in the chest. Something that kind of wakes you up, gets you in there. For Poland, this is about being intelligent, making sure that we're... And just like that, you see a beautiful feed cross screen to Lucas Hokel. I do believe that one side of that one post of the net has seen at least 3 or 4 goals. It seems that it's becoming a favorite spot for the lefties to park out and achieve their goals there.
Hutzal on the finish. Borko fired in the feed. The man-up converted. Poland with 2 man-up goals. And they make Slovakia's AJ Babiny pay for the slash while out of cage. 4-2 Poland, early second quarter. And
do we have a timeout?
Looks like we have a timeout called.
There are 2 timeouts per half here awarded to the teams. We have noticed that coaches, like a resource you do not want to let left on the table, make sure that they use them one way or another. Certainly Slovakia does not want a run to take place that makes an insurmountable lead for them in the second half.
This is a timeout taken by Poland because it is a running clock. So that time also expires off of the man up. So Poland coach Billy McNamara wants to face off here, preserve some time, have a 3-on-2 to face off, and still have a chance to shoot on Marian Templeton Yadron. That's
excellent call there.
Purposes of the timeout. So particularly with the way Poland has faced off with Greg Marzec. And now it's going to be Jackson Hartje that's going to face off here with a pole to try to stop transition.
Just noticing as the players are all coming out, the amount of tape that's out there. We talked earlier, the injuries do mount up on here. The pace of play, the quality of play has continued to remain high, though, despite injuries when you get to this midway mark.
Marzec right back for 2. So Poland still time on the man up. And now the second timeout is used by Poland here to talk about a play. So that's interesting. You won't normally see that. So now they can work on a short time play, Daniel Chernovsky, knowing he might have in the vicinity of 15 seconds left in the 6-on-5.
We talked about this earlier, though. I do think I've watched some gamemanship throughout the games because the moment that man sits down, that clock is running. And in a running clock scenario, the coaches struggle to get the personnel on and off will maintain their man up. So I think the utilization of the timeout here was 1, win the faceoff, then 2, follow directly up and insert his man up personnel starting to possession. So even if he only is sitting on 10 to 15 seconds, he'll be able to run something and potentially get another good walk. Again, I think also part of this is that there is a goalie who has yet to actually feel a shot yet. So you're taking advantage of a goalie who has to come in cold.
So Poland will have it just outside the restraining box, and timeout management here by Coach Billy McNamara. With 12 and change left, 4-2 Poland, getting goals from Sean Brennan, Lucas Hutzal to open up the quarter. And I estimate about 15 seconds left on the AJ Babiny slash. So now Poland able to get out, as you correctly stated, Daniel, an entire offensive unit. And Zhachitsky here for Błażej Pruszek. Anthony going here. The other aspect of it is it's difficult to sub in your goalie, sub them on here while down a man. So they'll have to wait until the next opportunity. Zhachitsky shot, and he pockets it. Sebastian Zhachitsky, 5-2 Poland. They get 2 goals on this 1-minute slash on AJ Babiny.
And I think you have to be fair here to a goal who's coming in cold, has not had a chance to warm up. Sebastian recognizes this immediately and wants to get his turn on there. You know, you go high to low on that, and it's very hard through that crowd for the goalie to pick it back up and make the adjustment.
And now a timeout is going to be taken by Jan Flaska of Slovakia. And Babiny's foul, I think, has yet to expire. So I'm going to check now. We'll see out of this timeout if that is indeed the case. It at least allows him, should Slovakia lose this next faceoff, to at least get AJ Babiny back on the field rather than waiting to run him on in live action. That's always a tricky situation. 5-2 is our score. Coach Jan Flaska has great connections with Poland defensive coordinator and Tom McCabe. He actually officiated both of Tom's children's weddings, his daughter and son. Tom McCabe's got 3 grandchildren. His wife is also here working as a volunteer, so it was a great meeting once they saw this game end up on the bracket, because the lacrosse world is so small, and here they are on a collision course, and now they get to face one another. College head coach and getting a chance to coach one of his players.
I think
in
this
Stefan
international
Flaska,
side,
Jan Flaska.
this international side has proven how tight the lacrosse community is. You know, in the Polish community, they use an expression, "Wszyscy Polacy is jedna rodzina," or "all Poland's one family." But honestly, the lacrosse community, I believe, is very much like one of these families.
Babity back to cage, so his penalty has come to an end. And that story you hear on numerous occasions across this 24-team tournament.
Even as you brought up Chaminade, I was reminded that Christian, the goalie of Poland, also a Chaminade product. You see various schools and communities, how they kind of pocket together, find the talent. Ball down over in the far corner.
Poland's ride of Hutzal and his teammate after the pass of Majic went awry. Chris Sloma did the work. Christian Zalewski attending Cold Spring Harbor, but yes, the same area, of course, Long Island.
I apologize.
Same area of Long Island, as Hutzal will restart. And particularly for this coach and player, Jan Flaska had quite the experience because he was recruited by Tom McCabe and ended up being a senior captain for him as a 3-sport athlete at Bowdoin, but he had great memories and a big smile on his face getting a chance to face Tom McCabe, who he has coached with the last several years with Slovakia and now coaching against each other.
To your point earlier, you see Poland rolling out that second midfield line. Players trying to get some experience here. See Patrick Wojciech, they're pretty hot on him. I saw him on the man up earlier. I don't think he started earlier on man up. These are players that they have in their developmental chain out of their U19 team.
Borko's feed, that's off of side netting and picked up by Poland. And on the handle is Poland's Paweł Sobol for the first time, big lefty midfielder. That'll get some more offensive run with now Poland out of the quarterfinal round. Also number 1, Maciej Wojcik, 18-year-old. And Schmiegel to work on Murphy. Murphy strips him.
Excellent defense by Murphy there. I think, and I'm sure he tried to go under his pole, but a great strip. And Slovakia quickly down the field. They've proven very potent here. I think Adam Tomork attempting to stem it and stop the tic-tac-toe on there.
And down the alley,
is a goal.
it's a finish. It's a finish for Eric Lichtner, and it is 5-3. So after the Poland turnover on the other end, and Lichtner able to find his second, and a big one for Slovakia to get something in transition.
And against the Czech Republic, we saw Poland again struggle to really stem a fast break. It seems a little bit of a disorganization and be able to pick up the point and effectively force somebody to bring it back behind X. Great work by the Slovakians. Recognize the odd man route there, and then they went straight down the field. They've proven that is the box stereotype, so to speak, that we would typically have there. That when they move it, they're going to move it fast and quickly and find open men.
Majic again winning against Pergat. Till ahead for Majic. Can he get involved offensively? Majic, chance to go to goal, and Babity makes the save on the bouncer.
Dangerous moment here for Poland. Again, Slovakia back out on the run. I think Margin may have missed Chris Sloma there with the opportunity. Now, these are always the danger of these fast break plays, going back the other way. As they like to see, a 2-goal swing. You miss it on one side, and it turns right back into a goal on the other.
Slovakia to go back to their first midfield. Stefan Flaska. Mark Lichtner will come on.
And a little bit of an open set now versus what we saw earlier where they were in a little bit more 1-4-1. Seems they want to create some space. And you're going to send someone into the crease now.
Mark Lichtner took it into traffic, turned it over, but then a late flag coming out against Poland. And a push with possession as they send over Chris Sloma for the 30. So a chance to get closer for Slovakia.
Slovakia has proven potent in these circumstances. having the hard shooters on the outside from the top and what I would consider savvy attackmen to know how to hit that post nice and low.
Schutz from Postma on a quick wheel man up at the end of the first quarter. And now they have another chance here for a 30. Swung to the lefty, and Simone Tomei. Well, he missed one earlier. This time they try the other side. And a couple of man-up goals, and Slovakia is within 5-4.
I think Slovakia's first goal came almost in the identical fashion. That left side post, the attackman sneaks in there. You have to respect the outside shooters by Slovakia, so it is a perfect opportunity for them. And you'll notice their experience box shows here because they're not simply trying to dunk the ball in that scenario. He quickly brings the ball down low and slips it right by the goalie's feet. And like that, I believe it's a 5-4 game at this moment. So quickly, Slovakia shows the potency they have on offense to stay in this game.
4 man-up goals out of the 9. Mažec. And Mažec able to pick up himself. Knocked down, though, by Schutz. And Griffin Schutz to pick up. So Slovakia losing face-offs, but they find a way to finally turn over Poland off the draw. And Stefan Flaska will hold. Slovakia with a chance to tie as we approach 6 minutes to go in a well-played first half. 12-seeded Poland leading 13-seeded Slovakia. And this is the consolation portion of the champions bracket. And now these two teams can finish as high as 9th place on Friday nights. Flaska. And Flaska runs into Adam Tomorik. Ball will stay in on this natural surface. And Jake Nanoski saves it, but right to Matthew Till of Poland. And Poland will look for a clear. Mažec, the face-off man, remain on.
See 2 or 3 knockdown passes here. Poland's lucky to maintain possession. A little bit of unsettled ball. Turns right back around, and I do believe this is what we were talking about, kind of a one-and-one way.
Borko on the finish, this time from Śmigol. Tyler Borko with 2. And Poland back by 2.
I guess they heard us complimenting Slovakia on their fast break play there and came down the direct other way with a little tic-tac-toe play.
Tyler Borko feeling much better, it appears, moving much better. Certainly yesterday against Ireland, a very difficult defense to break down for Poland 6-on-6. And the frustration facing the Irish, who were the 5 seed. So Poland already with 6 goals. Tyler Borko from Atlanta, Georgia's Pope High School, played at Division III Colorado College, and is now in medical school. Face-off win for Brennan. So no matter who Poland has put out there, Sloma, Brennan, Mažec, they have been winning face-offs at a very high clip.
Certainly have a great deal of talent and depth at that face-off position for Poland. That has been a strong point for them throughout the tournament. Even versus Ireland, I think that they were roughly in around a 50-50 break on those face-offs, at least at the draw level. But again, it comes down to executing if you're in that 6-on-6 set. Let's see if they can maintain their spacing here. Slovakia has not been a slouch on defense. We've seen quite a few fast break goals or man-up goals thus far.
Maciej Wojcik against Babiny. Now playing defense, Sebastian Żuchicki. Wojcik fired in, looking for Śmigol at a telegraph pass, stolen right back by Slovakia. And on the push, the Slovaks leading transition, Martin Kramar. Nanoski. And turned away from the transition look by Tracci. Attacks Tracz, takes it to goal, and Zvalewski makes his best save of this first half.
That was an amazing save by the goalie there, and quite an excellent move by the Slovakian offensive player there to do the re-dodge, recognize that there's an opening there. Poland really hadn't settled in on defense. Nice little move there. Just a little bit more of an amazing move by the goalkeeper to stop it.
Poland got a good game in goal yesterday from Alex Spanowski, who got the start, played the full game against Ireland. Kept them in the game in what was a 10-3 final. But Ireland able to figure out Poland's 3-3 zone just well enough, and Poland's turnovers mounted high. In tight, Tomei. Well, that's the addition that Jan Flaska had been waiting for at the start of the tournament. Once he arrived later, he arrived 4 games in. And Simone Tomei playing just his 3rd game. He's got 2 goals here And we're back to a one-goal game, 6-5.
Have a low angle on there, but shows his ability and scoring touch there to really come in over far side post to dunk that in there. Impressive goal.
Simone Tomé plays for the Slovakian box team. And the addition also of fresh legs. Wouldn't every team like to add somebody maybe midweek?
I know we were talking earlier in the tournament, there was always 2 or 3 individuals who couldn't come for teams that maybe for work or otherwise started showing up Friday, Saturday into the tournament already when we had 2-3 caps in.
Face-off win by Sloma off the wing, and Poland continues to have the heavy possession advantage. But the score is just 6-5 as we are hitting 2 minutes remaining in this first half now. Clock will stop in the final 30 seconds in the first 3 quarters on any whistle, and stops under 2 minutes in the fourth quarter on any whistle. Borko. And Borko trying to jam through a pair of defenders, and he has it taken away. Branislav Adam. Speaking of box players, he's the box goalie for the Slovaks, but he could not capture it, so Poland able to turn him right over.
This is about the 5th game I've seen from Poland play thus far, and this is probably the best ride that they're showing so far. So while they're winning on faceoffs, they're also demonstrating on turnovers a greater veracity. They were sitting back in a soft ride prior to this game. So we're seeing a couple new little slivers from everybody here. I see Poland playing a lot of man on defense.
Hutzal draws the immediate slide. Borko is open, and Borko is stopped. He shot to the off-stick side. Terrific save by A.J. Babiny from such tight quarters. Transition from Eric Lichtner.
Excellent clear by Slovakia. Well, it's still in a settled scenario. You can see Slovakia wants to settle it back down. Ball down.
Tomé just dropped it. He was waiting for substitutions. And
I think we're getting a loose ball push here.
And Schutt's fortunate with 40 seconds and counting. And blown back in. So now the next whistle will be a stoppage because we'll be under 30. Slovakia to try to tie this game to 13-seed Slovakia and 12th-seeded Poland.
These are always dangerous moments of the game. The final 2 going either way. Depending on how long they wait on there, there's the ability to go. You don't want a 1-on-1 scenario where maybe you have a missed shot and Poland quickly moves back down. Better off to hold for that shot, just try to have a good, solid opportunity.
Schutz racing past Hill. Here came the slide from Kligerman. Postma, 5 seconds to go. Working on Tomorek, trying to get inside. Taking the shot off the body of Zvolevski. The ground ball from Tomorek in addition to the stop. And Poland will go into the half, leading Slovakia 6-5. Well played game. 2 close seeds, the 12 leading the 13. As expected, a tight one. 5 man-up goals accounting for the 11 that were scored in that first half. Winner will take on the winner between Wales and Greece, and the same for the loser. We'll stop and be back in 10 minutes after a pause here on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV from Wrocław, Poland.
Commercial break! We've been really busy over the past 2 years developing our very own women's lacrosse stick.
We are really, really proud of it. So stop by the shop. We would love to tell you more about it.
Good Stick Co. Come get a stick. Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
About to start the third quarter of play. Poland leading 6-5 despite a hefty advantage at the face-off X, but Slovakia has been able to convert a couple of man-ups just in the second quarter alone. And 3 out of the 5 goals by Slovakia have come man-up. As this game has featured specialists, 5 of the 11 have come on man-up, and Poland's lead, the 12th seed over 13-seeded Slovakia, is just 6-5. Ralph Bienorczyk alongside Daniel Czernovsky joining you from Wrocław, Poland, as you watch the 2025 Men's European Lacrosse Championship. Winner will take on the winner between Wales and Greece, and that game is set to be played later. Wales having their hearts broken yesterday. They had to climb out of a big hole, trailing I think 7-2 to Czechia. Forced overtime at about 10 p.m. local time. Czechia winning. So it's Wales and Greece. Meanwhile, Greece, they have 2 one-goal losses. 2 out of the 5 that have occurred in regulation in this tournament. Greg Majic
wins the clamp, but Slovakia does a great job of continuing not to give up on the play. Quick, fast break, tic-tac-toe from Slovakia, demonstrating that if they are allowed on the run, they simply will tear apart a team.
That's Simone Tomei from Schutz. And Slovakia is even up the game at 6. Tomei now scoring 3 straight for the Slovaks. And this is his breakout game.
Marzet's now sliding over to the wing. You can see Chris Swoma coming on for the face-off. We'll see if they can continue that dominance. Certainly Greg has shown that he has the number of the Slovakian face-off man. Maybe a little frustration here after winning the clamp and being unable to maintain the draw.
Face-off win for Swoma. Swoma pushes, and a shot wide. Had a look and a peek at Smiegel, so Poland has backup. Daniel, will start some thoughts from Billy McNamara, head coach of Poland. What do you think he told his team at the break?
I think he wants them to calm down, make sure that they keep a settled ball. Given what you said earlier, it's penalties and fast breaks that are killing Poland. It becomes so important making sure that while they can aggressively ride, no one's getting behind them. You've seen that Slovakia, the second they retain possession here on the defensive end, they are shipping that midfielder down. They're releasing very quickly, so it becomes incredibly important not to allow that man behind you.
Get the thoughts about Jan Flaska of Slovakia in a second, as Zachitsky will swing back. It is a man-to-man look by the Slovaks, but a little bit sloughed off. Błażej Pruszek. Smiegel down to Borko. Now the Borko 2 goals and an assist to lead Poland. And Smiegel back to the stick of Brennan. Zachitsky. And a man-up finish. Now Zachitsky is able to beat Babiny low. Well, that came from some distance, low to low, 7-6.
You know, he put a lot of mustard on it, so to speak. Not sure if it was screened at all, but that ball bounces on the grass a little bit different. You're not quite sure where it's going to come in. Certainly well placed by Sebastian.
2 goals for Zachitsky heading into his sophomore year at Marist. And he has been on the first midfield this entire tournament. And Poland extends back to 7-6. They've led by as many as 3, 5-2. Midway through the second. Now Christian Babiny, who had not faced off until the Italy game, as basically the 5th guy to try. He is going to be the next one to try against Swoma, and Poland continues to win face-offs. And Swoma will drop it off for Smiegel, and now a flag is out. That might be the late flag on the slash.
I was waiting for the ref to throw it on there. That was right in front of him, hitting the hip. Kind of surprised, but the flag does come out.
Brennan shot wide, and Poland will go back to man up. So both teams here through 2+ quarters, and we're looking at already, I think, 8 penalties in the game. The 1-minute slash, though, against Slovakia, so Poland back to work. Poland scored 2 goals on a man up, on a slash on the goalie, A.J. Babiny, where Billy McNamara spent the timeout. They got 2 goals to extend from 3-2 to 5-2 in a key point in this one. Zachitsky faked it, then recovers, and his shot is over the top. He had Pergot committing.
Thought he lost the ball. I think it was actually something off of his gloves or his mouthpiece that came out at that moment.
Yeah, I thought so too. And Borko at the top.
Borko does almost lose the ball there. Able to maintain possession. Nice little feed down over to Smiegel. Starting the rotations.
Schmiegel. And considered the crow hop. Pruszek. About halfway through this man up. With Slovakia in the box. Pruszek able to step into the shot. Poland able to outbalance, get a 2-on-1 here. And Slovakia's defense continue to shift the other way. Yet another man-up goal for Poland, 8-6.
I think what you're also seeing is that the shooters are becoming much more knowledgeable to make sure they're stepping behind the defender, using that as a screen. So the first time the goalkeeper is even able to recognize the ball, it's within 9 yards of him. Very little time to react.
Fourth man-up goal for Poland, and Poland in a lopsided win over Ukraine. They had a boatload of them too. They won that game 14-2. Ukraine committed 10 penalties. Ukraine in their first international competition, developing nation, as Swoma tripped up just a little bit. Play continues, and the face-off grabbed by Slovakia as they look for their first possession as Martin Kramar
Dangerous
came up
moment
with
for
it.
Poland here, I believe. The fast break is where Slovakia has shown their mettle. Opting to settle it back in, I think they've proven, as you mentioned earlier, that the total time of possession really has been in Poland's favor. Slovakia has no reason to believe they can't score if they're settled in on an offensive set.
First midfield back on with Stefan Flaska, Griffin Schutz, and Mark Lichtner. Then Daniel, how about Coach Jan Flaska of Slovakia? What do you think he told his team at the break?
So you have to imagine he was trying to adapt something on the face-offs. I was almost waiting to see a long pole get put up to take face-offs or some sort of change. And we'll see later on if he does opt to that. He knows he can score on offense and on man up. He wants the transition. I think a lot of this just comes down to making sure they limit their penalties and get more offensive opportunities.
Tome is able to tuck it inside. He got a step, just one step above GLE, and Simone Tome has 4. 8-7.
I do think 3 of those 4 may have actually come from the exact same spot. They've proven they know how to move the ball up and down off that wing and take it down from X. It's just smart ball movement from Slovakia. They're catching the holes in Poland's defense. Either the man sloughed off a little too much or just giving too much room when they're that near to GLE.
Tome with 4 of the 7. Majic will see Christian Babini again. And Majic able to pick it up himself, but then overthrows Till. The pickup by Jackson Harcha. And Slovakia has the clear to the stick of Jake Nanaski. And the Slovaks, chance to tie again. They even things up on the first possession of the quarter at 6. And now a flag is down against Poland. A 30-second interference called against Poland.
I will say I've seen that call more often during this tournament. Not quite as used to seeing that defensive interference call. So used to moving picks being called in the U.S. But it's been a prominent call thus far.
Slovakia already 2 man-up goals. Now Flaska begins the wheel. Postma tied up by Till. And the hold is called. That's the right call. Postma essentially held the stick of the long pole Till as he jabbed at him. And Postma trying to come up with it and have it be subtle. But the official's blowing the whistle, and that's a turnover during the man-up.
Seeing some nice patience here by Poland. The one Poland's immediately recognizing they wanted to kill off the man down, get their personnel on. No rush here.
Till has Wojcik. And off it goes for Sobol. 8-7 Poland. Looked like they might separate in the second quarter. Schmiegel down low. Borko, and a challenge shot there on Babini. Borko might have had one more step in him. Poland has backup.
I think a little impatient there. He should have taken 1 or 2 more steps, possibly to just put that ball around the goalkeeper. A lot easier to say when there isn't a man bearing down on top of you. Sobol working it down now. Again, there's no... For Poland, they want a long offensive possession. They've proven over that longer possession that they're going to get good looks. They've been able to back their shots up. For Slovakia, I think it's force them to put it around there. Just don't allow cutters on the inside.
A skip pass for Hutzal. Harcha was all over his hands.
A nice adjacent slide there, forcing it out, making them back away. No threat then in that position.
Spiegel with Schutz in there getting a defensive run for Slovakia. A cut, Hutzal,
What a
stop
great
made.
save by the keeper there.
Babini to the stick side, but that was a rocketed shot low from Hutzal.
Great reaction time there, especially considering the ball came from another angle. Quick reaction. And this is where Slovakia is so dangerous. They're opted to settle it back in. But again, they have been able to score when they get possession. The score is only within one goal, considering that they have the face-off advantage of Poland.
Timeout called by the official.
I think we have an extra ball on the field. Slovakia has proven to be exceptionally adept at driving down those alleys and then just finding the man sneaking above GLE. See whether or not that lower quadrant of the Poland defense is adapted.
Simone Tone has been the guy, 34 in blue, on any potential sneak. Schutz and Poland showing a different version zone by defensive coordinator Tom McCabe, who's known for being a zone coach. Schutz from the outside, and Zvolevski with the save, now battling for the rebound. We have players, multiple players in the crease, including a Slovakia player, so Poland has it, and Schutz limited to the 12-yard look. So it's Zvolevski to start the clear, nearing 4 minutes left, third quarter. We were tied at one apiece, at 2, and then at 6.
Opted to patiently clear it here, working back between the defenseman and the goalkeeper, sending over a ball here.
And a long pass by Zvolevski, well underthrown, intercepted by Murphy. Ahead, Tome, and Tome buries his fifth. Failed clear by Zvolevski, underthrowing his teammate. We are tied again.
Poland thus far has not been able to solve the ability of Slovakia to get on the run and quickly put the ball in there. I think they were showing some patience, and then that one moment in which they attempted to stretch it, unfortunate turnover, and again, tic-tac-toe, Slovakia has proven they are not going to miss those opportunities.
Simone Tome with 5. Jake Nanoski found him, this time for a layup, a different kind of a goal. 8 apiece in Wrocław. Poland a 12 seed. Marzec, this time, was able to squirt it free past Babini, and another face-off win now on the wing for Chris Suoma. And Suoma will now wait for offense, so Poland has not been able to separate from Slovakia. Slovakia has never led in this game.
Chris Wilma is showing some nice patience for really a high schooler entering into college. Most players want that goal. He splits the two defenders, but then pulls it back out, and this is what Poland needs, a nice long offensive possession. For Slovakia, you have them on the ropes here. You got a tied-up game here. I really think you see the confidence building in Slovakia. If they get a possession, they feel like they're going to score.
Shatitsky gears up the hands, and his bouncer hits the post. Hutzal will allow it to go out for a reset for Poland.
Interesting little play there. You can see the ball died right at the line. Play a little gamemanship by both players, trying to be closest to the ball when it went out.
Brennan will now get an offensive midfield run. Hutzal swings for Prusek. .145 left in the third. Zachitsky met by the hard slide of Callan Murphy, who's been a takeaway guy in this tournament for the Slovaks. Playing with his two cousins, the Babini brothers, AJ in goal and Christian at midfield. Hutzal with a peek to the front.
Slovakia quickly attempted to swap off the long pole on there.
Hutzal drew the double, has to be recovered by Brennan. No shot clock in the international game until the year 2027. but there is a keep it in that could be coming. Long possession for Poland. And it is a different restraining line. It's much closer to the goal, but wider. It's more of a rectangle rather than a box. And these field dimensions. As Borko will back it out. And Poland could be expecting a keep it in. There it is. So now, once they bring it in, they'll need to keep it in the box or the rectangle. And now a delay of game called on Borko. He's maintaining that Kramar was close to him, within 5 yards. And the feed ahead to Nanoski, and Slovakia with a chance to take its first lead.
And these minor technical errors really add up on these moments. I think Poland may be a little bit too cavalier in regards to keep it in call. Would have been much better moving that ball behind. Slovakia has been excellent at executing in these circumstances.
Now an outside shot taken by Eric Lichtner. Backup keeps it with the Slovaks. Final 8 seconds of the third quarter. Jack Nanoski. Nanoski, a lefty shooting from no angle. Borko, the ground ball. And the third quarter comes to an end in a tie game at 8 between 12th-seeded Poland and 13th-seeded Slovakia. Winner will take on either Wales or Greece tomorrow. We head to the fourth quarter. You're watching the 2025 Men's European Lacrosse Championship from Wrocław, Poland on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV. Teams that are at a very similar talent level, and that's the way it has played out. Tied at 8, start of the fourth quarter. Ralph Bednarczyk with Daniel Chernovsky joining you from Wrocław. Greg Marzec, yet another face-off win for Poland, and they're probably in the 85% range, facing off, many of them uncontested. But yet it is a tie game. Poland's mistakes have been capitalized on by a very efficient Slovakian offense. Both teams have been hitting on man-up today.
I do think
6 total man-up goals.
I do think part of that patience that we're seeing on the face-off from Slovakia is acknowledging they're not winning the clamp and then making sure that they don't give up a fast break or an unsettled play. I've noticed they've set their pole up to go directly in, almost conceding that rather than allowing someone to get a run directly in on them. Probably reflective of how good they are in that same aspect of the game.
Schmiegel. Slovakia had a chance to take the lead. This pass out of the range of Sean Brennan as he battles. Hutzal had the chance of the first ground ball, then gets the second. And Hutzal in trouble is going to locate the outlet here in Schmiegel. Slovakia just had a taste of similar kind of facing off struggles 2 days ago against Italy, where Italy faced off in the vicinity of 95%, led by Angelo Venuto, who's also scored 3 goals, and he may end up being the player of the tournament. Should the Italians win, he has faced off to that level of dominance. Hutzal fakes and has the rollback taken away from him. Good job by Martin Kramar.
I think Slovakia did an excellent job staying at home there, denying really a slip in between. You can see they're overplaying this left-hand side or this right-hand side of the field. See the quick doubles that are coming.
Hutzal shoveling. And Zhachitsky was searching for a cutter. Now he tries to attack the pole from close quarters. Borko from an angle.
I think that works well, though, for Poland. If Slovakia continues to overplay the ball side, they have to be able to quickly reverse it. I think through X is maybe a better reverse for them. They've struggled when trying to get it back around to the midfielders who feel a little bit low. Got the opportunity during that Norway game earlier today. I could see how well Norway, once they initiated that drive, would find the cutter on the backside and the high side, really making the goalkeeper move for the shot.
Schmiegel shook free from Schutz momentarily. Seeing a lot more offensive players play D-midi a bunch. Here's Hutzal looking for that familiar rollback. Slovakia had forced a keep it in late third quarter because of their strong defensive stand. And this is another similar one. Poland ended up turning it over after a delay of game because they didn't get into the box soon enough. Now Zhachitsky will take the shot from distance.
He has scored on those, although I do think you're going to want to see them get it in a little bit closer. Those are challenging.
Pruszek look to the backside. And Poland exits the box. Still no keep it in call. Błażej Pruszek. And trying to dodge on Babiny. Now slips Hutzal. Gave it up one more. Brennan, the rip. And Brennan right into the stick of Babiny. AJ Babiny, the save high, and Slovakia with a long defensive stand. Now the pass for Babiny, and he is met by a hit by Brennan, but keeps it. And Slovakia with their second chance to take their first lead of the game. Trailing by as many as 5-2 midway through the second quarter. But they have stayed within striking distance. Poland has helped them with mistakes. Simone Tomé has 5 of their 8 goals.
To your point from earlier, you can see that there's a little bit of a change in strategy. We see Chris Swoma now here as a D-midi coming up from earlier. We're seeing a lot of legs. I think even Slovakia, I could see their midfielder waving off. There's certainly some tired legs here midway through the tournament. Don't want to risk injury. Want to make sure everyone's utilizing their personnel appropriately.
Now Mark Lichtner given the ISO against Swoma.
I like the work on the backside by Slovakia. They're picking, repicking, trying to see if they can find someone making a mistake, but also occupying the slide.
The knockaway by Patryk Wojcik, who they nicknamed Żaba on the push for
Athletic play by Chris Swoma coming down the center.
Swoma leads to 4-on-3, and Swoma from distance in transition. 9-8 Poland.
An excellent transition goal. Chris Swoma jumping up in the air to preserve that. That was a high ball thrown by his teammate Patrick. To preserve that. A nice little look off to create the separation necessary for him to get that shot off. Very tough for the goalie on that, getting that close ball bowing down.
Key takeaway, Patryk Wojcik able to strip Mark Lichtner outside, and that allowed Poland to get out and run for the first time, their first transition goal of this game. They lead at 9-8.
Now, we saw a period where Greg won the clamp, but we've noticed a change with Slovakia, rode it very hard.
Well, Pergot called for procedure.
Interesting.
And there have been some coaches that have suggested at times the intentional procedure call, particularly against Italy, to concede the face-off, but at least prevent the fast break. And the way it's been going for Slovakia, I wonder if that could be at least on the menu, as Pergon immediately got down. Poland has not been lethal off the face-off. So here's Jan Rydzak, 9-8 Poland. Still a ton of time left in this game. And Slovakia has proven they are not going away. The 13 seed, Poland to 12. And a good one here in Wrocław with now gray skies in the late afternoon.
Nice cycle by the two lefties there of Poland, but just as excellent defense from Slovakia to strip it, utilize that opportunity.
Jackson Harcha with a clean takeaway from Hutzal, and here comes Postma.
Slovakia is so dangerous here in the unsettled scenario. Doing some change of personnel, opt to settle it down, but again, it's not that Slovakia has not been efficient on offense, it's just been number of possessions.
Another chance for Slovakia. Griffin Schutz, 4 goals yesterday, been quiet in this one. Stefan Flaska, 99. 2 goals yesterday, also does not have a shot. Nanaski shakes free of his man, then fires overhand. And a big 6'6" athlete, Jake Nanaski, and now a timeout is going to be taken defensively by Poland. It is Slovakia ball on the backup. So Poland coach Billy McNamara is taking the timeouts, and defensive coordinator Tom McCabe trying to organize his group, sensing an important and significant possession.
Now, I did notice that Poles did swap back to man. I did chuckle just for a moment there as the Slovakian player wisely used the referee as the pick as he came around the corner. That this is the game headiness that's out there. I'll be interested to see if Poland sticks with this man defense to counteract what we had seen, some strong GLE play from Slovakia, really pressing from X and proving their mettle there.
Slovakia will have it just below goal line extended. Our final quarterfinal will be played later at 7 p.m. Eastern. 5th-seeded Ireland, 4th-seeded Germany to wrap up the first day of 12 games of back-to-back. Tomorrow also 12 games here from Poland, and then 9 more on Friday, then 3 more on the final day on Saturday, including the gold medal game at 6 p.m. local time to complete yet another European Championship. The first full one that was played since 2016. In 2022, there were qualifiers, but not quite the same kind of tournament. You know, qualifiers played in various regions.
I do believe it's a great example of them taking lemons, making lemonade. The dropout late, creating a little bit of confusion relative to how people would advance by Armenia. And I thought that the reorganization not just kept everything very fair, but also provided a great last day where 3 separate people are playing for a spot right at the end of the tournament.
Yep, for the 21st spot, the 7th spot, and of course gold medal. So Nanaski is going to have it on the whistle with 7:28 to play.
Poland looks like they've gone back and remained in man. We saw that earlier in the game.
As Slovakia identifies the defense, they try to set a pick on Till.
I'm kind of amazed that was not an interference call there, but
no moving pick this time. Nope, hold on a second. It is a moving screen. Very subtle, but Eric Lichtner, as he rolled off, made contact. And Slovakia gives it away. Here's Matthew Till.
Lichtner's got to watch. I saw the referee reach. I saw the Lichtner came in from behind there, brought the stick up. It's a coach's nightmare when they see attackmen running down the field with what we like to call the hatchet move. Unfortunate. Quite frankly, it was a good offensive set there. He's just got to hold his legs. He's right in front of the ref.
Yeah, with all eyes on the pick setter, Eric Lichtner. He's the one that ends up getting the interference call, and he's also the one that gets called for the 1-minute slash. 9-8 Poland as they go man up, and this will take us under 6 minutes to play.
It's something you frequently attempt to speak with players. There's a frustrating moment, and immediately you want to get it back. They're chasing it down there, but you're not going to get it back at all at once, and unfortunately now it results in a penalty. See how Poland handles this set. A couple different people on the man-up unit here.
Poland has scored 3 times already on man up. Actually, make that 4. Borko on the wing, Pruszek up top.
So they're rotating a little bit of a wheel, getting the setup here for the lefties.
And we see Maciej Wojcik on the first time on the man up here on the right wing, number 1. Zdzicki in the left wing, number 4. Borko at top. Tried to fire it in, and it was stolen.
Tremendous defensive play there, reading the stick and just picking the ball directly off. Poland's got to watch it here. You can see they're trying to ride it back. We've seen those penalties will come there. You're slashing down hard enough on the defenseman.
Martin Kramar got his stick and timed the pass, got it into the passing lane, a clean pick. Slovakia will kill the rest of this off on Lichtner, and Poland will not press out.
The referee giving a little instruction to Schultz there, not quite sure what was said, not sure if it was a layover from the defensive stand there.
And Poland not pressing out, still time left. They have the extra man here defensively, and clock continues to move down. 9-8 Poland, 4:40 and counting. So Schutz is going to allow this clock to keep going, and Poland, knowing with their face-off advantage, they could prevent a comeback. And Schutz still waiting. 4:20 on the clock.
I think this goes to speak that Poland is mainly afraid of Slovakia in an unsettled scenario.
Poland, I see, yeah, they do have 6 on, so they have the advantage.
I still see the man in the box for Slovakia. Maybe it was a 2-minute call, or no, 1 minute. They're coming on now.
That was a very long minute if it was. So Schutz finally will ask Flaska to come on. So we had to, fortunately, sit through that. If there was a shot clock, that wouldn't have occurred in that case with a free possession.
Interesting on both sides there. I think Slovakia, again, feeling very confident in their setup play. Ball on the ground right now, deflected by the goalie Christian. Slovakia maintains possession there.
Mark Lichtner had the shot. Timeout taken by Coach Jan Flaska. Stefan Flaska, his son, came up with the ground ball. 3:33 to play. So Slovakia got a look. Christian Dvilevski made the stop. And we are coming down to the end in potentially the 7th overall 1-goal game of this tournament. Poland continuing to lead, and Slovakia will have it. And again, the way that Poland's been able to face off, there's no guarantee Slovakia would get the ball back. And even if they score a goal.
I think Slovakians been efficient on offense. If they're able to tie it up here, I think it becomes important for them to... they've really conceded it, to your point early on there. I think they might be better off simply winding up their men a little bit closest to the center line to at least give them a chance. We haven't seen most of the clamps be pushed forward. It's traditionally been a pullback there. But again, they were efficient on offense and on the fast break in an unsettled scenario. For Poland, I have to imagine if you get possession, they're just going to try to stall through this. I can't imagine the way the clock is run and how efficiently Slovakia has been. If they got on a fast break, you want to do anything to risk an unsettled scenario.
Slovakia out of the timeout. Griffin Schutz looks like he's going to have possession. That's where the timeout, or at least the earlier possession started. We're going to be all even. 3:33 to play in regulation time. And actually, it'll start with Stefan Flaska.
A little confusion on the Polish sidelines here. I don't think they...
They'll make that actually. Schutz up top. Poland late to get on. Chance and opportunity. Schutz will step into it, and he missed the look. Well, nearly a critical mental mistake by Poland. Fails substitution, and now they get balanced up.
We've talked about these errors in the box earlier in the tournament against the Czech Republic. Poland struggled there. They are settled back up now. Let's see whether or not they can make the hold. Slovakia wisely moving it around. I thought earlier they did a great job of picking down. They've been able to get a clean shot off. Over 3 minutes here. No read for them to rush.
Nanaski. Schutz has been matched up against Till. Schutz rolls off. The help comes from Trotch. Then it goes across looking for the pass. He had Mark Lichtner, And the ball will go out of bounds. Poland gets the stop with 2:42 remaining. They'll look for the clear. And Poland still with one timeout remaining.
With the lack of a shot clock, Poland may be content to simply force them to ride up.
Tail over the top for Tomorek. Zvalewski in goal.
You can see a little bit of takeaway going on here until the 2-minute mark.
And now
Errant pass.
the pass by Till sails away from Tomorek.
Great job by Slovakia creating the pressure. And almost an opportunity. You can see the backdoor cutter. But again, Slovakia has the 2 minutes, I think, wisely, making sure they pick their spot here. They do not want Poland to get back to possession and simply to kill it out.
Shots. And the bouncing save, Zalewski, the rebound put in.
Shows the ground ball work there. Great stop by Christian to start, but rebound right there.
Griffin shuts the goal, following up his own shot. That's his second of the game. It's 9 apiece with 1:50 to play.
Just excellent work there, staying with the play, making sure he picks it right back up, puts it in there, not giving the goaltender even an opportunity out there. So all tied up with, I believe it's just 1:50 left.
Greg Majets, a commanding day today at the Face-Off X, but this is the big one. And
Interesting
rising high
choice
school
here.
senior Christian Babiny will draw for Slovakia.
Playing Greg Marchets for the pole. Both players are both on the Poland side of the ball. And he actually
And Majets has it. Greg Majets face-off win, and before the shot, timeout taken by Poland to nullify what could have been a 4-on-3.
interesting moment there. Greg's goal did not go past the goalkeeper. Not sure if it's because the whistle happened, but certainly had it gone through there, there would have been an interesting conversation in the huddle. As I like to joke with people, coaches will never opt not to take control of a scenario.
Timeout Poland, final timeout with 1:44 left, tied at 9. Each team has scored a goal in the fourth quarter, with the winner advancing out of the consolation portion of the champions bracket. And the winner can continue their crusade, trying to finish as high as 9th in this tournament. They'll take on either Wales or Greece, with that game being played later today. Wales losing in overtime yesterday to Czechia. Wales is the 9 seed, and the Czechs were the 8. Wales and Greece coming up later. The loser will take on Greece on the opposite side. So Poland will have it outside the restraining box. And Daniel, what's the concept here out of the timeout?
You know, I got to imagine that they are attempting to go back into a more open set. They do not want a quick, fast break out of here, so I am not taking the ball to goal if I am Poland's team until under a minute. Simply be patient. Unless somebody overly steps out on you, you do not want the ball to simply bounce down. Slovakia has been lethal when they're in unsettled scenarios. I think you'd rather go into overtime knowing your face-off advantage than you would potentially giving them back the ball on a fast break.
Poland will bring on Jan Rydzak, veteran native of this Wrocław region, and also youngster Sean Brennan.
Now, we haven't mentioned the stall call, or otherwise I am curious to see whether or not the refs make them cane or make them play or go to goal in this scenario.
And Zhachitsky might be daring the officials to make that call against Callan Murphy, so he is able to get into the box. And now Poland tied at 9. And we approach 1 minute to go. Zhachitsky. Slovakia not pressuring out. And the keep it in instantly put on. So the officials wise to the fact that Poland wants to melt off some seconds on this clock. 50 seconds left. And Tyler Borko to handle. So Borko has the D-mini matchup of Christian Babiny.
I think the largest disadvantage of the keep it in is that you can't step beyond to catch the ball beyond the restraining box there. They have to, little less room. The defense can press out and almost box you in like a restraining line. Tyler Borko.
Borko with 27 seconds. Rydzak. Hutzal. Hutzal looking for the look. Shut off there. Zhachitsky right at the edge of the box. Almost went out. Zhachitsky 15 seconds. Zhachitsky. And he did go out. Excellent defense by Callan Murphy. Murphy knew to keep it in. Zachitsky might not have. 10 seconds left. The ball deflected by Hutzal. And it'll be picked up by Kramar. Deflected away. And the pickup in chaos by Schutz. Griffin Schutz with 2. Ahead possible for the win. And that's it for regulation. Samuel Potsma. That would have counted had it gone.
About as exciting as you could ask for a game to finish up tied up before we head into overtime. Wide open goal, potential errant pass there, but we will be heading into overtime. I can't have asked for a better opportunity, right? With 9-9 heading in here, equally matched teams is just what we're looking for.
Second overtime game of this tournament. Poland, the 13 seeded Slovakia, and they will play extra time. Poland on home soil will look for the win. Slovakia looking for the advancement to win their second straight game. 9-9. We'll take a pause and be right back on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV. Decide this one in overtime to see who plays the winner between Wales and Greece tomorrow. Second overtime game of the tournament. Poland once led 5-2. Each team with a goal in the fourth quarter. With Daniel Chernovsky, Ralph Bednarczyk with you.
Looking at
Golden goal situation in overtime in the international rules. Greg Majets facing off against Christian Babiny. And it is Babiny that wins his first face-off of the game.
wonderful fight from him. He did not win the clamp, but then shows it looks like he thought about going goal there, but being wisely, he wants to set.
And then Babiny, under pressure and duress of Matthew Till, short hops his teammate, and Poland gets it back.
You have to wonder what nerves are coming in right now. I think that he had thought about going to goal, then kind of pulled back up. Great job of the post defender to maintain the pressure. Again, this is where Poland turned over the ball late in the game, allowing that final goal for the tie to come in. Chris Swomo receiving it, bringing it down the field for the clear.
Swomo away from Mark Lichtner, and off for Sebastian Zachitsky. Slovakia survived a Poland possession with about 1:50 on the clock and a timeout taken by the Poles. At the end of the fourth quarter, Poland did not get a shot off, and a keep it in was put on. Poland turned it over, and then Slovakia had the last shot at the buzzer. Drama here on field number 2. Schmiegel, and sends it behind for Borko. Babiny has been pretty good, but this Slovakian defense has been excellent in the 6-on-6 against Poland. Story of this one have been man-up goals from both sides. Who will finish perhaps 6-on-6? Brennan, skip pass, the knockdown.
Another great defensive play by Slovakia. Yeah. We saw one of those earlier, but unable to maintain possession.
Martin Kramar, the knockdown. Zachitsky will circle and drop off for Borko.
Poland wisely keeps it settled, pulls themselves back at that spread out here. But excellent work by Slovakia, picking that pass up, just unable to maintain the possession.
Callum Murphy provides the bump, tying up the hands of Schmiegel, has to get rid of it for Ridzak. Borko playing attack primarily the last
Brennan
the last
targeting
part
the
of this
shorty.
game. Brennan off the face. Brennan will take the bouncer. It's backed up by Borko. Out of position, Babity, but he recovers. And Poland a second look. Up top, Zrachitsky, the bouncer, sprawling save.
What an excellent save by the Slovakian goalkeeper there.
AJ Babany saw it through some traffic and went to the splits. Just graduating high school, will play at Bryant in Smithfield, Rhode Island. And what preparation this is for the start of his career in the fall. Playing under pressure with his two cousins, also on the Slovakian team. Brennan will take on the D-midi again. Brennan, the lefty shot. Babity this time makes the save. The outlet, though, is overthrown, and Matthew Till has it. Till hoping to cross over. And, of course, you have to be wary of the offside. Poland has the clear.
Great poise by Till there. He was unaware whether or not someone had got back there, holding the line without getting passed off and stepping up patiently and settling the ball back up. Great work again though by Slovakia, just unable to maintain that possession on there. Can't blame them though. They've proven lethal on the fast break for wanting to get out and run.
Another opportunity for Poland in overtime. After Slovakia won the opening faceoff. Ridzak to the 17-year-old Brennan. Brennan jams into Mark Lichtner. Here comes Murphy hunting. Then Brennan falls down. Brennan trying to get rid of it, and Brennan escapes. Off to Zrachitsky. Hutzal. And Hutzal trying to dive underneath of Hartje, who defends him well.
Excellent defense from Slovakia there. Two unsettled scenarios, managed to push Poland back out, repel the attack.
Ridzak asking for the screen. Jan Ridzak smothered, sandwiched. And the ball forced ahead for Slovakia, and a timeout will be granted. Though we're out of time in regulation. They did not have the clock, I think, running, or at least visible to me. That is all for the first overtime. So it'll be overtime number 2 between Poland and Slovakia. Now this is the next game of this Men's European Lacrosse Championship.
I think Jan Ridzak saw his name on the field and decided he wanted to take it for himself. Unfortunately, the double came hard on Slovakian. Just solid fundamental defense there. Poland caught more than once trying to split a double. I think their ability to move the ball off ball quickly, whether or not they're able to get a shot during their offensive opportunities. And for Slovakia, again, first face-off win that we've watched. Excellent work there. And he didn't win the clamp. It was just being tenacious and staying after the ball.
So the timeout taken, we'll keep it here for this short break. 9-9 is our score. Griffin Schutz tied the game for Slovakia. Chris Swoma gave Poland the lead early in the fourth. Poland unable to close out. A key turnover late gave Slovakia the final opportunity. And then Slovakia came up with the defensive stop at the end of regulation. And then Slovakia played the entirety of the first overtime on defense. Majic will face off against Christian Babany. As Christian Babany won his first face-off at the best time to begin OT. Majic will shovel it over to Swoma. And Swoma, who scored on a transition rush, will drop it off to Schmiegel. And Slovakia will have to really earn this again on defense. They have played a ton of defense in this game, and perhaps a 70-30 kind of ratio in terms of time of possession. But Slovakia, particularly in the 6-on-6, has been tremendous.
For Poland, I think they have to keep themselves spread out here. They were running into doubles when they were trying to split open the Slovakian defense. They have proven that they were going to keep it tight. And quite frankly, the amount of minutes they've played on defense, they've been quite solid.
Zrachitsky looked for the sweep across. Using the shoulder on Christian Babany, then fired the bouncer. And Poland has backup with Rydzak.
Worth mentioning, we have a slight drizzle coming down here. The field's going to be a little bit slicker, and shots like that are going to take a different bounce than they did only 5 minutes ago.
Now Borko to attack Branislav. Tyler Borko took the quick look. Rydzak running, and he is in position with backup. And quickly off the whistle. Outside, Hutzal overhand
with
rip.
the winner.
Oh, hold on a second. It's side netting. Now our officials will gather. Wait a second. As no official, now is the call. It is side netting on the Hutzal shot. Slovakia has possession.
A little confusing for everyone right there. Most definitely thought the ball went in. Hard to see from our angle, but certainly a little frightening moment for Slovakia.
Schutz comes up with a clear, and great tension in this 12 versus 13 game, tied at 9.
The crowd calling for pressure, but I think Poland has every reason to play in tight, force Slovakia to try to earn their way in.
Lichtner will take it behind. Slovakia, the first possession of either overtime. They turned it over after winning the initial faceoff. As Mark Lichtner circles, now Stefan Flaska. Two teenagers here in the field. A rising high school sophomore in Stefan Flaska with a 17-year-old and Mark Lichtner, 21. Who will be the hero here in Wrocław? Flaska works against Swoma. Pasma had the shot at the end of regulation that could have won it. And Schutz has dealt with Matthew Till in a matchup of high-end Division I players from the U.S. Till, Schutz gets free. Schutz lost the ball. He got away from Till, but could not get the shot off. And Poland has it.
See Till on this, I wasn't sure if Till or Tomorek was covering there, but quite impressive work there. Almost gave it up, and then a little back check to get that back. See if Poland can be patient and get this ball cleared.
There is no visible clock here for the second overtime. We're tied at 9. So we'll try to hear how much time the officials might call out. I don't know why they didn't put the clock there. Till asking for help. And Till will handle things himself. And Till will finally drop it off for a teammate in Hutzal. Hutzal had the look, the last one for Poland that caught side netting. Zczycki. Hutzal nearly got the slip through. Pass was a little behind him, and it'll go to Slovakia, tied at 9. And this could be the final possession of this overtime number 2.
High tensions here. You can see the nerves maybe getting a little bit to the players. Certainly there's got to be a little bit of endurance kicking in right now.
Babini over the top, and that's it for overtime number 2. So the longest game of these European Championships will continue and go a little bit more. 9-9, Poland and Slovakia. We'll take a brief timeout on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV. Start of our third overtime in Wrocław, Poland is now the wind and with a slight drizzle really kicking up. 4 minutes is unofficially on the clock. Again, there is no visible clock here for some befuddling reason. In our third overtime, longest game of this tournament, 12-seeded Poland, 13-seeded Slovakia, even at 9. Greg Marzec with another face-off win, and he is easily in the 90 percentile. Out to Chris Swoma. Teams playing with tension. Poland has had almost all but one of the possessions of the two overtimes.
Worth noting, the weather has changed here. You can visibly see the rain coming down, certainly making the field surface more slick. Going to make it hard for players to make those hard cuts, or potentially defensemen even slip in there.
Brennan for Zachitsky, turning a corner, quick shot, Babity the save, a rebound, hockey sticked along, it's wide of GLE, and it'll be a call belonging to Slovakia.
Slovakia is so dangerous in these opportunities when they have an unsettled situation. Schultz bringing it down. I think
Griffin Schutz. Drop off, has a trail man, save made on Tomini. Christian Zalewski able to stop Simone Tome, who has 5 of the 9 for the Slovaks. Now Nanoski outside. Underway in the third overtime. And a not visible clock, 4 minutes in each overtime with no timeouts. So these players having to self-correct. Tome has the cutter, Postma, that may have hit the pipe, or Karon right back off to Zvalewski, and Swoma trying to turn the corner. And he hits Sean Brennan in stride. 4-on-4. Brennan shooting on the move right into the stick of Babiny. As Babiny up ahead, and here comes Till flying into the picture. Till with room. Till for Borko, short hopped him. And Borko on the tough pickup. And the push is called. Loose ball push against Slovakia. And now we have a player down for Poland behind the play at midfield. And in the vicinity of cramping, where these two teams are now approaching 72 minutes of action. And it might take more. That's high schooler Sean Brennan that is trying to get stretched out. He has logged a lot of minutes today.
So tough on these players. We've said they're now beginning to play both ways, coming off the face-off, D-midi, O-midi. Certainly Herculean efforts by both the Slovakian and Poland team. Even though there's a 22-man roster, most of them are down to maybe 15 to 17 players that are actually running. And as you mentioned, these are a lot of minutes that are logging in.
Poland will stay very young and bring in number 1, Maciej Wojcik, as Brendan has to exit after an injury stoppage. And what a chaotic sequence, Daniel, on both ends. Both teams getting shots. We're now late in the third overtime, tied at 9.
I think it reminds me quite a lot.
Pass over the head of Wojcik, and he rescues, prevents the over and back. And he's able to pick up ahead of Martin Kramar. Wojcik firing down into Hutzal.
With the lack of a clock, not really sure how much time we have left in the period.
Yeah, I would hope that the referees make it loud enough to know when the final seconds are occurring. Ridzak, swing for Hutzal, and he's taken out of his shot. What a day today by Jackson Harcha, knowing exactly how to defend Hutzal, a strong lefty with box skills. Borko swings, looking for Hutzal, and that'll be turned over. And perhaps Slovakia, we should be anywhere inside the last minute of overtime number 3. Slovakia will have it. Rain now is a solid drizzle with a lot of wind. Here comes Eric Lichtner, and he's got Griffin Schutz. What will it take to break this deadlock?
Seems the sky has really opened up here. make it a little bit harder for the players to see, and I'm sure they're going to see their sticks throwing quite a little bit different. Little 2-on-1 ball here.
Vlaska for Postma. Schutz escaping from Till. Schutz is in. Schutz with the bouncer. It will count. Slovakia wins in overtime.
Incredible
10-9, a triple overtime affair. Slovakia will advance to the next day through this winter portion of the consolation bracket. 10-9 Slovakia. Griffin Schutz with the winner.
I just think it's exactly what Slovakia wanted. You want your best player with the ball in that scenario. Wait a little bit of 2-on-1 to get clear, and then comes down on the left, and just an excellent shot in tight. Can't have asked for a better way for a game to finish.
Griffin Schutz appearing like he had no angle remaining and somehow was still able to dangle and release a bouncer right before he was out of room. Tremendous shot from the University of Virginia graduate who was once one of the top 10 players in his high school class. Ran first midfield his senior year this year at UVA. He's the one that ends it after Slovakia's defense held Poland scoreless for nearly 12 overtime minutes. And it's Slovakia, the 13th seed, that will advance here in now rainy Wrocław to take on either Wales or Greece tomorrow. Two exhausted teams walking off the field. Poland having chances to end it, could not. And credit the Slovaks for pushing this one as far as any game has so far in this tournament.
Incredible finish, and quite frankly, everything you look to watch for in a lacrosse game.
Simone Tomei chipping in 5 goals in his best effort. Schutz, though, with the game tire and then the eventual winner in triple overtime. Slovakia makes it back-to-back days with a win as Poland falls for the second straight day. That'll do it for our entire crew, and thank you so much for watching. For Daniel Chernovsky, my name is Ralph Pinarchik saying so long and goodbye from World Lacrosse TV and Lax TV. You've been watching the 2025 Men's European Lacrosse Championships from Wrocław, Poland.
I'm joined here on the sidelines with Simon Tomé from Slovakia after their triple overtime win over Poland. Simon, triple overtime win today. Electric. You guys were down, had the game-tying goal, and then eventually the game-winning goal in triple overtime. What did that take from you guys?
Yeah, we have to tell the Polish team they got so much better since last time we played there. Play here and play against them. It was a tough match. We knew there will be a tough match. It will be one goal game. We waited for the perfect weather to third overtime to make it more fabulous to win. And it was some beautiful saves in the last overtime. It was nervous and anxious, but we had a longer hand, and we win.
Now, Simon, you scored 5 goals in today's game, half your team's goals, but you just arrived at this tournament 3 days ago. What's it been like adjusting, playing with these guys, kind of just jumping in the middle of the tournament?
I told them yesterday that I'm sorry I'm late, but it was awesome to just drag me in. They keep me in place. I was not nervous since the first goal, and it's 5 goals on today. It's like I cannot take credit. It's offense, and I was with the hot hand in the end, but it's team effort, and especially defense in the second quarter was absolutely brilliant. We stopped they scored 2 in half. I don't know, but it was second half that we took over.
Awesome. One more time, Simon Tomé, as Slovakia defeats Poland 10-9 here in triple overtime here at the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championships.